Hi everyone, so today's class is a intermediate Pilates class, so suitable for those people who have a relatively good level of fitness, but there are options throughout the class, so just go with what feels comfortable for you. So first of all, as always, we set the body up, just connecting both sitting bones to the floor. The knees are soft, feet flat as well. Just let the shoulders release and come down and away from the ears. Thinking about aligning the spine and stacking the vertebrae above the sitting bones. We go for a gentle engagement of the centre, so rather than pulling the belly button in towards the spine, think about lightly wrapping the muscles in around the spine, almost as if we're wearing a corset. We lift the pelvic floor, so we're thinking about drawing up and away from the mat, just whilst keeping that good posture throughout the spine. We bring the hands to the lower rib cage. Gentle engagement of those internal abdominals, we keep that feeling. And deep breath in through the nose first of all. As we exhale out through the mouth, we find that deeper strength, that engagement in the centre. Again, we inhale, breathing in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, finding that strength, that engagement in our centre. We go one more time, breathing in. Exhale out through the mouth. Lengthening through both legs and just send those legs slightly wider. Arms come in line with the shoulders, releasing shoulders down. First of all, on an exhalation, we lift, we reach, and we come up and over to the left-hand side, as if somebody's pulling us by the fingertips. Breathing in back to centre. Try to make sure we keep both sitting bones to the floor. As we exhale, we lift, we reach over to the other side. Breathing in. Exhale, lift, reach over to the other side. One more time, breathing in. Exhale, lift and reach, coming over. Breathing into centre. Lift both arms, and this time release shoulders away from the ears, as if we're holding a big beach ball above the head. As we exhale, we begin to curve in the spine this time, so we're creating a curve through the side of the body without collapsing, breathing in centre. Exhale, curve to the other side. There's no movement in the shoulders, no movement in the arms. The movement is from the spine. Breathing in. Exhale, come over to the other side. We go one more time, breathing in. Exhale, lift and come over to the other side. Breathing into centre. Taking an exhalation, release the arms. Readjust here, coming into a table position. So we bring hands underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. And first of all, taking an inhalation, release in the spine. Try to look up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, we round in the spine, we bring chin to chest, looking down towards the floor. Again, we inhale to release in the spine and look towards the ceiling. And then exhale, round in the spine, bring chin to chest. Let that tailbone fall towards the floor. Last time, breathing in. Exhale, round in the spine, chin to chest, looking towards the floor. Bringing it back into neutral spine. This time tuck the toes underneath and float the knees away from the floor so we hover. First of all, as we breathe in, press those hips back towards the ankles like winding up a spring almost. As we exhale, press forwards into a high plank position. Breathing in, softening those knees. Don't let the hips rise as we press back. Exhale, bring it forwards, lengthen and lift. Keep going. We've got two more. One more time, breathing in, press back. As we exhale, press forwards. Think line of energy from those heels to the very top of the head. Then softening both knees to the floor. Hips again repositioned over the knees. This time inhale, pressing one leg back first. And as we exhale, we work into that hip, opening the hip joint out, then draw the knee back and hover off the floor. Breathing in, pressing the leg back, open into that hip. Exhale, drawing down. Trying to keep the upper body as still as possible here. And the opposite hip, the supporting hip, is still and grounded, so we're not rocking around. One more time, breathing in, press back. Breathe out, open into that hip joint. Hover the knee first, then release. Changing sides. Press the leg back first of all. Exhale, work into that hip joint, opening here. Hover the knee just off the floor. Breathe in, press back. Opening the hip. Trying not to compromise that lower back or the spine. So we have real control of the movement. This hip doesn't move around. Engage to keep it nice and still. Last time. We release. Tuck the toes underneath. Then float both knees away from the floor, pressing those hips towards the ceiling. Heels work down towards the floor. Releasing any tension in that neck. And we breathe. Soften these, heels lift away from the floor. And this time slowly walk the feet towards those hands. As the feet arrive, both knees bend, releasing hips back. Slowly restacking the vertebrae. As we lift gently away from the floor, the shoulders relax. We lift the head and the neck. So bring the hands just to the hips first of all. Lift the right foot away from the floor. We begin to draw small circles round from this hip joint. So imagine almost stirring a pot with the foot. We're aiming for minimum to no movement in the rest of the body, so just that leg moves in isolation. Think about lengthening, lifting through the spine, as if there's a string pulling us up towards the ceiling here. Then change the direction. Slow, controlled movement round. We can place the foot back down to the floor, changing sides, lifting that foot away, and again we go small, controlled circles round. Trying not to collapse into the opposite hip, thinking about lifting and coming up and out of the floor. Then changing the direction, so we pull that leg back round the other way, again with that control. Release. Placing heels together so we turn out from the hips. So we're opening into the hip joints. So when we bend into the knees, they should go the same direction as the toes. Lift and bring the hands to the side of the head. Make sure we're not sending the tailbone out, so everything is in one clear line. As we exhale, we soften these, begin to press the hips down towards the heels. We can stay here, or we keep working down towards the floor. Then breathe in, work heels down, lifting slowly up. Exhale, softening these, keeping that center nice and strong. Hover the hips above the heels. Then breathe in, press heels down, lifting slowly up. 2 more. Breathing in. Last time. Breathing in, we lift slowly up. Let's go one more time, why not? Exhale, soften the same direction as those toes. Peel heels away from the floor, hover the hips, then lifting slowly up. We release. So coming to the top of the mat, just with some space in front of us. Again, shoulders release down. As we exhale, bring chin to chest first of all. We just begin to round in the spine, pouring the weight forwards. Knees are soft, heels are planted to the floor as we come down. We then soften both knees, release those hips back and restack the vertebrae, lifting gently away from the floor. Again, shoulders relax, lifting the head and the neck. One more time. Exhale, bring chin to chest. Roll slowly down through the spine, reconnecting gently to the floor. As we come down this time, just begin to walk fingertips forwards, and we're trying to make a flat back position as if we're a tabletop. Then we release. Knees soften. Slowly walking hands forwards, creating that length, pressing heels back as if we're pushing against a wall. Then soften both knees, fold from the hips, opening the shoulders. And we can restack the vertebrae, lifting gently away from the floor. We bring the legs round from underneath the body, both legs extend. From here, the elbows bend, we bring those forearms alongside the ribcage, sitting tall. As we inhale, sweep the arms forwards round the spine. Exhale, lift. We hinge, we come slowly away from those toes. Breathing in, brush forwards, rounding the spine. Exhale, lift, come away from those toes. Breathing in. Breathe out. Breathing in. Exhale, lift, hinge, coming away from the toes. Got one more time, breathing in. Exhale, lift. We release. The knees bend. Placing feet to the floor, arms along, fingertips forwards. This time as we exhale, we hinge to come away from the knees, but try not to collapse in the lower spine, so the center is strong. Then turn palms to the floor, fingertips come down. Bit of a challenge. As we exhale, lift and let those arms float slowly up. Then breathe in, bring the arms slowly down. No movement in the torso. Breathing in. Keeping that center nice and strong, wrapping those muscles in so that just the arms move. One more time, breathing out. Breathing in. Lengthening through both legs. Just crossing the arms here, so we bring the hands to the opposite shoulders. And again, think about sitting tall, but don't flare the rib cage. So we have just good posture in a seated position. From here, first of all, as we exhale, we begin to twist. We come away from those toes. Then as we breathe in, we transfer the weight over to the other sides. Then pull forwards, all the way around the world. As we exhale, hinge. Come away from those toes without collapsing. Breathe in, transfer to the other sides. Then move slowly forwards. Exhale, go. Breathing in, transfer. Breathe out, come forwards. Taking a breath in to prepare. Then again, exhale. Last time. Breathing in. Inhale, sitting tall. Arms along, fingertips forwards. Exhale, hinge hips. Then tuck the tailbone underneath. And come slowly down through the spine, reconnecting slowly to the floor. One vertebrae at a time. You relax. And so from here, the knee bends, 90-degree angle. Then lift and float the other leg up towards the ceiling first of all. As we exhale, we soften the knee, press that leg through. Breathe in, lift. Thinking about imprinting the lower spine down to the floor. Exhale, press that leg away. Again, breathing in, float the leg up. Exhale, knee softens, press through, imprinting lower spine to the floor. Two more. One more time. We release to change sides. So the other foot lifts 90-degree angle. And as we inhale, lift, float that leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, soften knee, press the leg through, imprinting lower spine to the floor. Creating space across the rib cage here, opening through the front of the body. Breathing in. Inhale. We've got one more time, breathing in. Exhale, press that leg through. Both knees bend, take hold of the thighs, keeping an equal distance between the upper and the lower body. Inhale, come back, only if this feels comfortable on the spine. Exhale, lift and hover the feet off the floor. Breathing in. Breathe in, come back. Breathe out. Inhale. So we don't change the distance as we rock like a ball. Breathing in. Breathe out. Using that center and that breath out to stay still. One more time. Release. And we lengthen in both legs. And just bring the fingertips, or maybe the palms down to the floor behind the body. But we're trying not to collapse, so perhaps fingertips is best. From here, first of all, as we inhale, lift and float one foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, cross that leg across the leg on the floor. Breathe in, draw back. Then breathe in, lower slowly down. Change sides. Inhale, float that leg up. Exhale, cross the leg over. Breathe in, draw back. Breathe out, slow release. One more time each side. Don't lose focus on the upper body. We're still staying tall, as if we're lifting up and past the toes, sending the energy up that way. Breathe in, breathe out. One knee bends, take hold of the thigh, then we extend the leg and release the shoulders, sit tall. From here, try to release the arms, fingertips are forwards. As we exhale, we hinge the hips, tuck the tailbone underneath, and roll slowly, slowly down through the spine, connecting to the floor. We take a breath in here to prepare, and on the exhalation, focus on the internal abdominals, pull, lifting up and past that foot to come slowly down. We change. Knee softens, float the foot away, both sitting bones remain connected to the floor. Release arms. Exhale, hinge hips, tuck the tailbone underneath, rounding that lower back. Come slowly down towards the floor. Breathing in. Then exhale, pull from the center, lifting up. Come past the toes. Release slowly down. Knees bend, feet are flat. Inhale, lengthening through the arms. Exhale, hinge hips. Tuck tailbone underneath and just come slowly back down through the spine, connecting to the floor. Just bringing those feet in slightly closer to the upper body. Again, we still have this connection to the floor through the lower back. Hands rest on the thighs. First of all, take an inhalation through the nose to prepare, finding our center. As we exhale, pull, sliding those hands slowly up. Then breathe in slowly down. Exhale to pull. Breathe in, slow release. Breathe out. Breathe in. Exhale, pulling from the center, we lift slowly up, about halfway. Breathe and release. Let's go 2 more. This time exhale, we lift, we stay here. We take an inhalation, we take an exhalation. We breathe in, we release slowly. Knees bent, lifting both feet away from the floor. So from here, press and extend one leg first of all. And then we soften into that knee, we draw slowly back to change sides. Press and extend leg away, thinking about imprinting lower spine to the floor so we don't buckle. Press to extending it, slowly away. Then draw back. For a bit more, we extend opposite arm, opposite leg as we extend away. Then breathe into center. We can also round shoulders away from the floor here. So we have like a kinetic chain of movement from the fingertips to the toes. Breathe out, extend to hover. Breathe in center. Sometimes the slower we go, the more stability we build, the more challenging the movement is. Two more. Keep that neck nice and free, drawing back. We release. And so pressing both feet down into the floor in a comfortable position, imprinting lower spine. As we exhale, we roll slowly up through the spine, just tipping from the pelvis first, lifting one vertebrae at a time. Coming into a glute bridge, and we can stay here, or we lift heels away from the floor without letting the ankles roll out to the side. Try to keep everything in good alignments. Glutes are engaged, hips in a diagonal line from shoulders to knees. Maybe we float the arms, maybe just lift and send one foot towards the ceiling, slight bend in that knee, as if we've just fallen out of the sky. Option. Again, we stay with both feet to the floor, heels lifted or heels flat. We can change the leg over, engaging the center and also lifting in those glutes to keep the body nice and still. Don't forget to breathe. Release. Bring heels to the floor if they were lifted. Then hover those arms first of all. You can release the arms. Then as slowly as possible, roll back down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Reconnect to the floor. Lifting the feet, just taking a rock so that we can press